Hello and welcome back to Mark's Garden UK at Rose Cottage near Nantwich in Cheshire, where I'm back, or should I say we are back, in the wildlife pond. I've got two very exciting pieces of news for you today, which I'll share with you in a moment. In this video I'm going to show you how to measure your pond liner for a wildlife pond, or indeed for any pond. And there's two techniques I'm going to share with you. I'll also give you a guided tour of some of the features of this wildlife pond. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've dug this pond by hand using only my long-handled Irish spade, and it's been quite an undertaking, but I've got there in the end. I never intended it to be an overnight dig. It was also always going to be a bit of a slow burner that I came back to. And indeed, I've got there in the end, and I'm very, very pleased with it. Let me tell you about it. The deepest bit here is going to be about 1 metre up to my hip depth. And the reason to have some deep wash is it stops it all freezing in the winter time. So you do need a deep bit. Then I've got two ledges here, a deep ledge and a shallow ledge. And the reason you want two different types of ledges or depths of ledges is to accommodate different types of pond plants. And I'll tell you about pond plant selection in a moment, because I found a very useful and interesting resource. Over here, about 1/3 of the circle, because my pond is perfectly circular. It's actually based on Monty Don's pond in Gardener's World. I copied the idea of him. It's perfectly circular. And this bit here is a sloping beach. Really important with any pond to have a sloping access point. Say, for example, a hedgehog or a rabbit or a vole fell into the water. It needs to be able to clamber out. So this is the access point here. It's great for wildlife to be able to enter and exit the water. And I'm going to cover that beach and these beautiful beach boulders, which one of my neighbours donated. The carpet's also been donated by neighbours. But the carpet really is belt and braces. It's just a little bit of extra protection in the bottom, because underneath my pond liner, I'm going to put a pond liner underlay, and that will protect the liner from any sharp stones or roots that do come through. Now, I've already spent quite a bit of time with my rake just taking up and seeking out any sharp objects or root, because they might come through and puncture the liner. So I want to get rid of them before I put the underlay and the liner down. Now, this ledge here, where the liner meets the earth's surface, if you like, I'm going to be covering that ledge with these huge boulders. Can you see these massive boulders here? Enormous things. I found them over here in the garden and I've excavated them. And my neighbour, who's got a mini digger, is going to help me using straps, lift them in and gently down onto this ledge here, and they will hide the liner. One of my objectives is that you won't be able to see the liner at the earth's surface, and there's a benefit to that, because it means the sun's rays, the UV light from the sun, can't get to the liner, because that can damage the liner. I want to avoid that. So if you want to watch an interesting video, subscribe and hit the notifications bell, because you'll be able to see us gently lift those down onto that ledge. Now, I'm going to fill my pond using harvested rainwater, because I think it's quite environmentally friendly. I've got quite a big garage roof over here. I'm going to build a canal, a kind of a lavada. If you've been to Madeira, you'll know what a lavada is, that brings the water down and fills it. And so it will be filled with rainwater. In addition to those massive boulders there, I've also got a selection of other boulders here, which again I will use around the outer edge of the pond to hide the liner. And then there'll be boulders all around the edge to give it a lovely circular shape. And then there'll be a ledge there for plants, a ledge down here for plants, and the deep bit here. And I'll probably end up putting some water lilies. One of the objectives is to cover probably 2/3 of the water surface to stop the light from the sun from penetrating, because when the light penetrates the water, it can cause green algae, and the more plants you put in, the better for wildlife. So there we go. Now let me tell you where I'm getting the pond liner from. I did a bit of internet searching and I found this company called pondkeeper.co.uk. I'll put a link in the description box below this video. And they've got some excellent free resource. They've got lots of information. They've also got a tool for measuring your pond liner. There's two different approaches which I'm about to tell you about. The first one is take the width, add 2 times the maximum depth, and then add some overlap. Then take the breadth, which is the other dimension, and again add 2 times the maximum depth plus some overlap, and that will give you how big a liner you need. Now what I've done is I've taken a slightly different approach. I've taken a piece of string. This is a very real approach. I've wrapped a boulder around it. That's my overlap, and then I've gone all the way along. I've made that piece of string touch the contour of the bottom of the pond all the way through, and this is giving me a very real measurement of the pond liner, and that's coming through all the way through there, and again a little bit of overlap. That is the dimension in this direction. I've done the same again in that direction. I've taken a piece of wood, I've marked a metre on there, and then it's really just a question of getting your string and using this as a metre rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And I know mine has got to be 9 metres by 9 metres, quite a big liner. And when it arrives, I shall do a video on how to install the liner. There we go. Hope you found that interesting. I'm really excited now because we're getting to the point in time now where the pond will start to look like a pond and not just a big hole in the ground. Have a look at pondkeeper.co.uk. I'll put a link to their measurement tool at the end of this video and also in the description box below this video. Come back soon when the liner arrives and the underlay, and we install it, and then we'll start watching the pond fill up. Hope you've enjoyed that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.